Yay! On this week's tutorial, I'd like to talk about just the theory for a little bit. Let's just go over theory. So you have to understand the strings, okay? So you first have to know that this is an E, okay? E, A, ooh, resonation, D, G, B, E. And that's basically what you really have to know first and foremost. Like every adult does good by eating. I don't know, whatever you can think of for your acronym. But basically, that's what you have to know. And then you have to understand that there's 12 notes. 12 notes in the scale. So if we're to break it down really basically, let's start with the alphabet. So let's start A, B, C, D, E, F, G. That's it. That's all there is. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. So imagine your alphabet cuts off at G. Here's where it gets a little complicated. There's a thing called sharps. Sharps are like the hashtag. And then there's a thing called flat, which looks like a little B. So what a sharp means is you're going forward. And a flat means you're going backwards. So we're only going to focus on sharps right now because we're only going to be going forward for this moment. So every note has a sharp, except two notes don't have sharps. This is where it gets a little complicated. So the two notes that don't have sharps are E and B. So the best way to remember that on guitar is it's the two strings made of steel instead of copper or nickel. So some people call that the first string and the second string, which I always find weird because you'd think the first string would be the one closest to your, the one you strum first. But the first string is actually the bottom string, B. Yeah, so those are the first two strings, B and E. Think of like break and enter. B and E are the two notes that don't have sharps. So if we're to go back to this nut, pretend that this nut is a capo. Okay, so this capo is actually capoing all those notes, the E, A, D, G, B, and E. So our first note is E. So because E, that we mentioned earlier, doesn't have a sharp, it's going to go right to F. And right now we're just doing the alphabet, A, B, C, D, E, F. So because F's not part of the B and E, the next fret is actually an F sharp. Well, I'm going to use my second fret. So that's F sharp, and then A, B, C, D, E, F, G. So that's the G, and then G has a sharp, so G sharp. Okay, so here's what happens after G sharp. The alphabet's over, so we're going back to A. And then the next string below is called A. So the reason people tune like this is because they're the same note. A, A, A. So when we hit the A, look at it like this. Capo again. What comes after A? A sharp. What comes after A? B. So there's the B. And we talked about the B and E are the ones without sharps. So all of a sudden there's no sharp. B, C, C sharp, D, and then look here, D, the next string below is D. So you want to, that's how you tune those because they're the same note. So what comes after D? Well, D sharp, first fret on the D string. What comes after D? Sharp, E, A, B, C, D, E, and then E, remember, it goes back to the E, B don't have a sharp, so E, F. What happens after F? Well, I think it's an F sharp. F sharp, And then after F, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And then the next string below is a G. G, so the same. So then all of a sudden G, what comes after G? G sharp, and then A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Oh, the alphabet's over. We're back to A. A has a sharp, third fret's the sharp, fourth fret's a B. So here's another complicated part, which is kind of weird, but all of a sudden we're not using the fifth fret to tune anymore. We're actually using the fourth fret to tune the B. So yeah, could use a little tap. So all of a sudden B, 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 B. These are hard to tune because the copper turns into just pure silver here. Okay, so B, B, B. What comes after B? Well, there's no B sharp, so C, and then C sharp, and then D, and then D sharp, and then look where we are all of a sudden. We're back at E. What's the top string and the bottom, whatever you want to do with the top and bottom, call them whatever you want. E. So we're back to the fifth fret tuning again. So there's only that one weird spot on the guitar where you have to tune from the fourth fret. And guess what? The top and the bottom, exactly the same. So E, E doesn't have a sharp, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, alphabet's over, back to A. And if you want to keep going up the fretboard, it's the exact same thing. A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E. So when you hit this 12th fret, the thing that has the two dots on it, you're always going to be back at the note. A lot of people like to tune there, play harmonics. Harmonics are sick there. Alright, that's the crash course on theory.